And we are underway. So not really much to talk about here in the prologue. It's very, very straightforward. The bunny hops you see the racers doing are actually saving slight fractions of time. There is a slight speed boost while Madeline, the main character of the game, is in the air. And it saves just a little bit of time to bunny hop through the entire chapter. It's very short, very optimized, and saves very, very little time, however. And the tournament, yes, the tournament, I was about to touch on this, and I saw someone in chat mention it. This tournament does run on IGT, not RTA. So you'll notice a bit of desync in the times. I'll do my best to, you know, do the math in my head here. But yeah, here we go. Chapter 1, Forsaken City. Each chapter has its own gimmicks and different mechanics it tosses at you. Chapter 1 happens to have these conveyor belt platforms, traffic light platforms, whatever you want to call them. They're the main mechanic of this chapter. Along with these following blocks you're going to see on TGH's screen right now. TGH missing a corner boost he goes for there. Just slightly, however. Unfortunately, Starcrunsher taking a death there early on, or later on, sorry, in Chapter 1 here. It's going to cost him a little bit. TGH getting that diagonal wall bounce. First try. Not struggling whatsoever, coming out of there with a 105. And Starcruncher not too far behind him with a 112. As we head into Old Site. Old Site's one of my favorite chapters in the entire speedrun. The mechanic that's used in this chapter called Dream Blocks is probably one of the most fun and unique in the entire speedrun. You will see them as soon as TGH touches up on the mirror here in the next room. He's also going to do a little strat here where he dashes up left there. You're going to see he spawned inside of the dream block. That's because the game only stores your Y-axis when it enters cutscenes and not your X-axis. So by skipping the cutscene while he was at the same height as the dream block, it spawned him inside the dream block. And he was able to dash out of it right away, saving a little bit of time. Not a huge time save, but it's a cool little strat. And now we're going to get introduced to Battlein. Battlelin's also pretty unique. Follows you on a 3-second time delay. Basically, is just there to be a nuisance if you slow down or if you go too slow in any of the rooms. Neither of these runners should have any trouble with Battlein herself. TGH blowing through this chapter so far, doing a very good job. Starcruncher unfortunately took a death or two in the room with the 2 diagonals, so it did cost him a bit of time. He does have some ground to make up now, and TGH is performing very well so far. As Starcruncher now in the last room of Old Site as well. TGH now in the awake section. We're going to see a few ultra dashes here from TGH. And a nice corner boost there as well. Very, very good awakes segment from TGH as well. Starcruncher now making his way through the ending as well, using some ultra dashes. Very, very neat stuff. Watching the runners who are very, very, you know, talented do their ultra dashes in certain chapters. It's very, very interesting. So TGH now in Celestial Resort. Most of this chapter is remembering strats for specific rooms because this chapter, haha, you guessed it, is completely cycle-based. Everybody's favorite in speedruns. Now, there are two kinds of people. One who love cycle-based chapters or parts of platformers, because they are able to develop very, very good strats and, you know, able to do it very well, or the people who absolutely despise the cycles. And to be completely fair, I'm kind of split on that. Some rooms, if you die, you end up on a death cycle, and it's just really annoying to kind of try to get yourself back on track. TGH entering the huge mess segment now. You're going to see a completely cluttered room here around this little key in the middle. What you're going to be doing in this section is basically cleaning up this gigantic, well, this huge mess. And basically making your way to the key. Now, there is a specific way we do this. There are 3 sections of the huge mess. The bottom, middle, and top. And basically, we do the bottom first, then the top, and then the middle, because of where Oshiro spawns. Oshiro is the man who owns this place, this horrifying dungeon of a resort. That guy. And it's all dependent on where he spawns at the end of each segment. So you saw there, TGH was very, very close to Oshiro when he came out of the bottom here, and you're going to notice he's going to be even closer to Oshiro when he comes out of the top section. Starcrunsher taking a death in the first section, unfortunately. Struggling a little bit, probably suffering from some nerves, you know, being on Speed Gaming 1 and playing against the world record holder of the speedrun is definitely an intimidating thought. I would definitely crack under pressure, I can tell you that much. Starcrunsher in the second segment. TGH is about to finish up the third. And we'll move on to the elevator shaft. Now, the elevator shaft segment of this this chapter can be a bit punishing. It has a few rooms that are pretty long, and if you do take a death in them, they can cost you some time. We'll see how this goes for TGH here. As Starcrunsher finishes up the second section of the huge mess and is now into the final one. Oh, TGH accidentally misses and takes a death there. That's unfortunate. Takes 2. Make that almost 3. He's able to save that one. Unfortunately, he missed that that lock coin. As Starcruncher is about to finish off the third section. Not as far behind TGH as you would think, because if you look at... my mistake, sorry. I was about to say if you look at the timers, but the timers are very, very close together. It's the chapter timers that are different. So TGH chaining a few hyper dashes together there on those platforms to do a very, very cool looking strat. Basically gets the key, and you don't lose a key when you die in this game, so he retries and spawns himself back at the start of the room. And is able to get out of there very, very quickly. Now, if TGH is able to fly through this, I'm sure we could see a sub 5 here. Starcruncher doing the key room as well. Very, very nice. Oh, Starcruncher unfortunately taking a death. Like I said, this room's pretty long, so it is punishing to take a death anywhere after the very start. The TGH blazing through the Oshiro section, making quick work of almost everything. As Starcruncher about to start off Oshiro as well. So like I said, not as far behind as you might think. It might look like a pretty big gap, but it's not, and it's 4:52. Chapter 3 from TGH, very impressive. Comes out of there at 8:37. Starcruncher making his way through the Oshiro section as well. Not having much trouble so far. Commentator's curse, please, no. I shouldn't have spoken up. I apologize, Starcruncher. Oh, I apologize, Starcruncher. Oh, I've done it now, haven't I? I've done it now. Oh, I've so done it. I feel so bad. Oh, God. I'm terrible. I'm so sorry. TGH now in Chapter 4. He's going through it pretty quickly. We'll just ignore that the commentator's curse ever happened. I can't stop laughing. Oh my goodness. Chapter 4, heavily based off of the win mechanics as Starcruncher finishes up Chapter 3. Oh my goodness. As you can see on TGH's screen right now, this is the wind. It is the main mechanic of Chapter 4. However, they do have the moving platforms, which you've probably already seen, that are activated when you step on top of them or grab them. TGH going for the reverse hyper off of that one, and then goes for the wave dash. Gets that pretty well. Nice. So the gap has definitely widened after that for Starcruncher, unfortunately. Not that it was his fault. Definitely my fault. Also failed to mention, there are these little green bubbles that you're going to see right here. Turquoise, whatever color they are. Teal, you name it. Everyone says they're different colors. They basically push you the same distance as a dash would. And they also replenish Madeline's dash when she's inside of it. TGH now in the most punishing section of Golden Ridge, which is the heavy wind section, and you're introduced to another new mechanic here, which are the snowballs. They're basically like a mini Oshiros in a sense that they come on a horizontal plane, and they come from the right side instead of the left, so it gives you a little unfortunate death there on TGH's side. They come from the right side, so it gives you a little bit of less time to deal with them or predict where they're coming from. TGH finishing this last room where the wind decides to help us out a little bit, and he's finished with Chapter 4. So TGH now entering Mirror Temple. As you see, Starcruncher here decides to bounce back and forth off of the walls. So Chapter 5, first you're going to be introduced to these dash platforms. They move on a set track whenever Madeline dashes. And then these red bubbles are similar to the turquoise ones, except these ones will continue moving until they're A, dashed out of, or B, they make contact with a wall or floor or roof, I guess. They also replenish Madeline's dash and can be activated faster by pressing the dash button while inside of them. So you're going to see a strat on TGH's side here is very, very neat. Oh, and he gets both. Oh, unfortunately missed the ending, though. Almost got the whole thing. Will he go for double bubble skip? I can't see why he wouldn't. No, he's not going to go for it. It's intriguing. I would expect him... I guess he's probably trying to take this a bit safer, considering it is an elimination match against someone who's like just 2 minutes behind him in terms of PBs. 3 minutes, sorry. And Starcruncher is going to finish up Chapter 4, 1301. So Starcruncher now in Chapter 4 or Chapter 5 rather, as well as TGH enters the Unraveling section. What you saw there was a little snippet of where we control a Seeker. Now those are going to be the main enemy and the main mechanic following for this section. TGH using a corner boost there, or sorry, a corner jump. And these little guys are the Seekers. Basically, they follow Madeline on a horizontal and vertical plane and basically just home in and try to kill her by whatever means necessary. And yes, for the most part, through the tournament, I've seen TGH go for the double bubble skip, so I apologize. Hitting search at 235. And Starcruncher gets the double bubble skip on his first try as well. I did see that out of the corner of my eye when it happened. So Starcruncher about to enter the Unraveling section now. TGH also just did a strat called Search Skip that saves 3 minutes. It's very small and very subtle. You can miss it if you blink. But it does save 3 minutes, rather than searching for 2 keys in that section. So now TGH is coming up on the Theo section. He plays this very unfairly, TGH does, because he uses Ultra Dashes to his advantage in this section as well. And he just, it's absolutely incredible. I'll try to let the gameplay speak for itself. Absolutely nuts to watch TGH play through that. And is that a 415 Mirror Temple? Did I see that correctly? That is an incredible Chapter 5 time in a race. Let alone in a run, too. That's very impressive. So TGH now, in Chapter 6, gets like skipped first try like it's routine. As Starcruncher now entering the Theo section as well. Keep an eye on Starcruncher's screen as well, because it's very, very interesting to watch the different strats that certain runners have in these Theo section rooms. So the main mechanics of the 6th chapter that TGH is in right now are those crush blocks, also named Kevin blocks, thanks to the soundbite that they make when they're run into, which was created by the sound producer of the game. His name is Kevin. ODDQ, very, very cool guy. And yeah, if you hit either of the blue sides, or any of the blue sides of it, it basically just pushes you, or pushes the block in that direction until it runs out to everything, or it runs into anything, pardon me. I'm butchering my words. Also right there you see a sneak peek and another sneak peek of the bumpers. TGH uses one right there, and bumpers are bumpers. I think everyone knows what a bumper does. And also the feathers, I failed to mention, are a very interesting mechanic in this chapter. As, Starcruncher narrowly avoiding a death there to the Seeker. Very, very good, though. Still looking like it's going to be a sub 5. It should be a sub 5 on Starcruncher's side as well. Yeah, no doubt. So a sub 5. I think there was a 444 or 454 or a 455. Yeah, a 455. Very, very good stuff as well from Starcruncher. As he enters Chapter 6 as well now. And yeah, that's why I said keep an eye on Starcruncher's side too. It's very, very interesting to watch the different strats in Chapter 5, which I believe is the most technical chapter in the entire run. TGH is going to talk to Grandma here. And then he's off in the descent to rock bottom. That wasn't a SpongeBob reference. Starcruncher unfortunately not getting like skip first try. Going to go for it again. Gets it on the second try though, very nice. Still saving time there regardless. TGH going for a quick scuba dive here. And somehow, that's how water is supposed to obey gravity, right? If I'm not mistaken. TGH gets the battle line boost very, very nicely, and we are now in the battle line fight. Let's get some hey-ahs in the chat, guys. My favorite soundtrack in the entire game. My favorite part of the entire game. It's a fan favorite for sure. So the battle and fight is a slight different, it's a different take on a boss fight for sure, than normal. She has no health bar or anything. You have to hit her a set amount of times in each room. And then you progress after you're done hitting her as many times as she needs to be hit. Watch this room that TGH is in. Oh, he doesn't go for the second Ultra there. Thought he was going to go for that second Ultra. There's a very, very neat strat involving the Ultra dashes there in that room. Very, very fun to watch. We'll see if Starcruncher goes for it. As I say that, Starcruncher unfortunately taking 2 deaths in this room. As soon as I say Starcruncher's name, it just seems like Starcruncher dies. I feel very, very bad. So Starcruncher is coming up on Grandma as well here now. Before he'll make his descent into rock bottom. TGH about to finish up the first phase of the battle and fight in very, very quick and mannerly fashion. And here is the second phase of the fight. Basically just involves some moving platforms rather than them just falling from the ceiling. The strat in this screen, very, very nice as well. TGH about to finish up. Now into the last room. And Starcruncher... Uh-oh. Something might have happened on Starcruncher's end here. We need a montage of GD dog curses, please. Oh, that's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that, Starcruncher. Yeah, I hope you're able to get through with that. Thankfully, he wasn't too far from that checkpoint, so it shouldn't lose too much time. But yeah, hopefully that gets fixed. So TGH now in the summit. Yeah, very, very, very close by. At least he was able to save and quit rather than have to rather than have to just sit there and let the IGT waste away. So the summit is basically, as everyone probably knows, a culmination of all the chapters in the game, basically in one final test. TGH in the 500-meter section, which is based off of Chapter 1. As Starcruncher now in the battle and fight as well. Also, I didn't notice... I wasn't paying attention to Starcruncher's screen when he went for battle and boost. TGH now in the 1,000 meter section. I'm sorry, my commentator is getting a bit lackluster here. I apologize. It's hard to say much about the mechanics of the summit because you've seen them all already. TGH making it out of the 1,000 meter section very, very quickly. Now the 1,500 meter section is what I would like to think is probably one of the hardest sections, not only of the speedrun, but of the entire game casually as well. Also, I completely failed to mention, to anyone who doesn't watch Celeste speedruns, you'll see on Starcruncher's screen that his character has red hair right now, and TGH's has pink. That's because at the end of Chapter 6, Madeline and Badeline make up, sort out their differences, and basically through the power of friendship, you're able to dash twice. Also, let's get a Frankrzy in the chat for the dog in that room. If you didn't see it, you'll get a chance to see it when Starcruncher gets there. Also, Gutter Drums, thanks for the support. Speed Gaming definitely appreciates it. So TGH now in the 2,000 meter section. One of the more fun sections of the summit, in my opinion. So TGH is going to do an auto-scroller skip here. He's going to do an extended hyperdash. And just basically skip the entire room. You're supposed to take the block all the way over to the right side of that room, but by doing an extended hyperdash and keeping your 2 dashes, you're able to make it all the way across the room without issue. And he's going to do another vertical auto-scroller skip here as well. As Starcruncher finishes up Reflection as well. He's going to hit the summit now as well. Also, I said the Chapter 4 segment, not Chapter 4. My apologies. Unfortunately, Starcruncher taking a death there in the base of the summit. And TGH just absolutely blitzing through the 2,000 meter section. Now in 2,500 meters, and you know what comes next. Everyone, get those poggers ready. And is Starcruncher having some more problems? No, just needed to reset, I guess. A good key skip there on TGH's side. As Starcruncher finishes up the summit base and is now moving into 500 meters. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about 2 screens away. We are now 1 screen away. Oh, TGH's inputs. No, he gets the Gets it. It's the first one on the second try, and he gets the second one. I'm sorry, that looked really funny. Just dashed right into the spikes there. That's not as funny as I'm making it out to be, but it just looked really silly. But he gets the door skip on the second try nonetheless. Also takes a death in this this last room of 2,500 meters. Starcruncher gets through 500 meters without much of a problem. TGH skips the cutscene and is now in the final climb, the 3,000 meter section. It's on pace to be a pretty good time on TGH's side. Starcruncher now in the 1,000 meter section, doing his best to keep up with this pace. And this time, I can say this for sure, the run isn't as, they aren't as far apart as it may seem. They are far apart, but they are not as far apart as it may seem because of the pause that Starcruncher had. Because this game runs on IGT, the times aren't exactly the same right now. So you're going to see on TGH's screen, not for very much longer, but for now, this wind that's pushing us down, basically intensifying gravity. The second section of the 3,000 meter climb to the top is updraft and basically lowers gravity. So this is the only different mechanic in chapter 7. Basically just takes a mechanic that you know and uses it differently, which is very neat. Starcruncher now in the 1,500 meter section as well. We'll see if he goes for the hypers in the next room there. Or the ultras rather. That's a very nice strat as well. The one that he just did in this room with a couple of ultra dashes. Very, very good stuff. TGH now on the unholy flag 13. An accidental. Wow, nice save there from Starcruncher. I don't think that was intentional. I don't think that strat was what he intended to do, but it was a very good save nonetheless. Very impressive stuff. He did miss the second ultra. Oh, Starcruncher unfortunately taking a death there in the last room of 1,500. Not once, but twice. 3 times. I just need to shut my mouth. Honestly. I just need to stop commentating when it comes to deaths. I might as well just get up and leave. I honestly may as well just get up and leave. TGH now on flag 3. Will he go for the diagonal dash here? Yes, he will. Very impressive stuff. That's a very, very tight dash. Flag 2. And from here on out, it should be smooth sailing for TGH. He has this in the bag, no doubt. A flag 1 death, maybe just for fun? Maybe just for fun? Nah, it's not looking like it. TGH, 30, 35, final time. GG's to TGH. Get your hype in the chat for him. But we now turn our attention to Starcruncher, and unfortunately it seems like we don't have any sound on Starcruncher's side, so if there's anyone from Speed Gaming in here that wants to put some background music on for this, that would be great. We should have TGH in here for an interview very shortly. 30:35 that's a great time for TGH in this run. So unfortunately, Starcruncher will be demoted to the lower bracket, but is not finished yet. This is a double elimination tournament, which is something also I failed to mention at the beginning of the stream as well. So just because you lose in the upper bracket does not mean you are finished off. You'll have another chance. And expect Starcruncher to come back with a bang in the next race, no doubt. Starcruncher really not on bad pace here, though. Still going to be probably a 34 or 35. Unfortunately, taking a death there. So I hope everyone's ready again for another door skip. We can only hope that he goes for it. A little bit of swag there from Starcruncher. Oh, using an extra dash there as well. Good momentum usage from Starcruncher. Again, like I said, it's very, very fun to watch the diversity of strats in this tournament. Oh, and Starcruncher won't go for door skip. Oh, I'm sorry to have let you all down. My sincerest apologies.
I mean, he saved time over my door skip room, so...
I laughed. I honestly laughed. It looked so silly.
I didn't even
straight into the spikes.
I didn't even make it the door skip. God.
Also, what's up, TGH? Congratulations,
Hello,
GG. 30-35. That's a dang impressive time for a race.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a solid run. I'm definitely pretty happy with that from a race standpoint for sure.
I think the rest of us are pretty impressed with that as well.
I saw what happened in Chapter 6. I happened to look over and Starcruncher was on the main menu.
Yeah.
Apparently he had controller problems.
Controller problems. Yep.
Yeah,
but,
I would have stopped
IGT.
if it weren't IGT. Like, I mean, I just kind of didn't really think anything of it. But if it weren't IGT, I probably would have offered to stop.
Also, yeah, I apologize for the lack of background music here. Starcruncher, unfortunately, there's some issues with the sound. I guess that's all I can assume. I'm not a sound tech guy here. I'm just commentating. But yeah, overall, also, it's worth noting one thing that stuck out to me in your run was the 415 Chapter 5.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I've recently incorporated ultra dashing on Theo. It saves a surprisingly large amount of time, for sure.
I kind of like whenever you got to the Theo section, I just shut up and I was like, I'm going to let the gameplay speak for itself, and I was just quiet through the entire section. And
nice.
Yeah, it didn't fail to impress, that's for sure. And the movement in the last room as well is very, very impressive, I must say.
Thanks. Yeah, Mirror Temple is definitely my favorite chapter for a reason, in both the speedrun and casually.
Yeah, I said it's probably it's definitely the most technical chapter in both the speedrun and the besides the summit, obviously, but
yeah. Also, shout outs to the half yeet.
The half yeet, indeed.
The half yeet. The patented.
Starcruncher got the full yeet, so went up to on that one.
Dude, that's boss. The full yeet is what we all strive for, but unfortunately I wasn't able to pull it out, but luckily Starcruncher had my back.
You see that, guys? Even the world record holder is not perfect. So don't go pointing fingers at other people.
The problem is I did it too perfectly. That was the problem.
Starcruncher finishing up 34-45 final time on Starcruncher's side. Unfortunately, a few problems in Chapter 7 and 6 basically just caused the time lost there. Still a good time nonetheless. 36 deaths. Do not let that take away from that run or Starcruncher as a runner. Very, very talented. We'll see if Starcruncher will stop in or not. It is possible there might be a slight language barrier. I'm not sure if Starcruncher's been in for interviews in this tournament yet. but if we don't have one, it's definitely fine. We were treated to a very good race between these two runners here. So yes, TGH will proceed in the upper bracket. Starcruncher will be sent down to the lower bracket, but is not finished yet. And like I said, expect a comeback nonetheless. And we do have Starcruncher with us now.
Hey.
Welcome inside.
Yo, GG Starcruncher.
GG.
Yes, GG's on the race. So some unfortunate controller problems in Chapter 6.
Yeah, and during Chapter 7 too, but not that
I noticed.
major as in 6.
Yeah, it was it during the base, the summit base?
There and in 1500 on the last screen.
the last screen, yeah, I noticed, yeah.
And on Epilogue too.
Yeah, I saw what happened. It's
unfortunate.
Controller problems are definitely a thing you don't want, especially during a race. I'm sorry that happened, dude.
Technology is a pain in the butt sometimes.
It is.
But yeah, overall thoughts on the run for yourself, Star?
Except the controller problems, the only thing that was major, I would say, was the one screen on Oshiro. Where I died multiple times.
Yeah, it was I like to believe that was partially my fault. If you look at the somebody had to have clipped. Somebody had to have clipped.
Kirsten, didn't you?
Because really bad. Really bad. It was absolutely hilarious.
You pulled the chocolate cake? Is that what you did?
Yeah, I think it was a little worse than chocolate cakes, to be honest. I felt really bad, but at the same time, I could not stop laughing. I'm sure there's a clip of it. I think Tigerson got a clip of it. It'll probably end up in the tournament Discord if you want to take a look at it. But it was really funny. It was unfortunate too, though. I'm sorry that happened.
It happens.
It was really bad. It was just as soon as I said your name, like I was about to turn to your side because TGH had finished Chapter 3. So I turned my attention to your screen, and I was about to say Starcruncher making his way through this Oshiro section very well as well. And then before I could even finish my sentence. But yeah, it happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a thing. When I mess up on one screen in Oshiro, then not only one time.
Yeah, that's it. Definitely. You get in your own head sometimes, too.
When it rains, it pours on Oshiro, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, you got your deaths out of the way on that screen and not on, like, the last screen, because the last screen can be extremely punishing. But, yeah, I guess, what were your overall thoughts on your side, Teach? Anything
I played decently.
Yeah, I was going to say anything you found poor, anything you found exceptional compared to other tournament races?
I didn't spend 30 seconds trying to get the corner kick on the last screen of Chapter 1. That's a plus.
I pointed out that you got that first try.
Unlike the last run that I did tournament. I was like, the difference between this time and the last one was just that one screen. It was like 40 seconds or something. It wasn't that bad, but yeah, it was a solid run for sure. I'll take it. A couple of hiccups, but you know, nothing you don't expect from any no reset run. Never mind a race. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's that kind of game. You're not going to be perfect every time.
Exactly. And Starcruncher, compared to other races in the tournament, how do you feel this one was? Besides the controller problems, again, we'll negate those.
Think in general, it was quite good, I would say. Only 1 minute behind my PB in the end.
Yeah, I noticed that even with like some of the issues you had, some of the costly deaths, I still noticed that it was pretty good pace compared. And your speedrun.com PB is your actual PB?
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, then it was pretty close for the most part. If you take away the blemishes, but I guess that can be said for any run.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's really all we needed to talk about was just, you know, the overall thoughts of the run. So thanks for the exciting race, you guys. It was a lot of fun to commentate. Very action packed indeed.
Yeah, thank you for the solo for going solo.
I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun to watch the VOD back. There are a few really good moments in this race, in my opinion. And yeah, make sure you finish make sure you finish the tournament strong for both of you guys. I'm sure Starcruncher, despite being knocked down to the lower bracket, you won't be finished. I can only expect good things, and same on TGH's side.
Yeah,
so
for
yeah,
sure,
guys.
dude, for sure.
Make sure you follow the runners. Feel free to follow me, the commentator, as well. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the tournament. I'm not sure what's coming up next on Speed Gaming, but I'm sure that there is some more Celeste to come later on in the evening on Speed Gaming 2 for sure. I did notice that in the schedule. But yeah, I guess we'll call it here. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and hope you all have a great evening.